everyone, Rua here with the next installment in the version update editorial series. I'll only be addressing the job changes in this video, as I usually do. I'll have to cover the final form ambuscade weapons in a separate video at some point in the near future, when there's more of a consensus on their viability. Anyhow, into it. This month's update was for Puppetmaster, a rare job in of itself, so how far reaching this video will be, I don't really know. I made a guide on the job some time ago where I made a clear case on the job's problems and how they could be fixed. Has this done it? Let's find out. A number of attachments were added to the automaton to try and improve its damage output. Automaton damage has always been very far behind that of a Beastmaster, and especially a summoner, so on the surface this looks like a step in the right direction. All the attachments can be bought in Nashmal at the usual NPC on the north side of the town. They carry a respectable price tag, but nothing that should break the bank. I'll only go into the really significant ones today. So what do they do? The Magni plugs increase the base damage of the automaton's physical attacks, so it's a straight increase to its base damage. The Magni plugs have noticeable effect by themselves, but when they're used under overdrive they get very powerful, especially when used alongside the speed loaders to increase skill chain damage. Keep in mind, these Apex Draug are among the highest leveled CP mobs you can fight in this game, and this was without proper support, so I was really impressed with this, especially when I considered that I didn't have a Corsair around for Beast or Drachan roll. I was only using the second tier of the Magni plug in this loadout, with other attachment slots going to the Inhibitor, Speed Loader, a Tuner, and a mid-tier Tension Spring. The Magni plugs are fire elemental attachments, so they could see some usage with a tanking loadout. I can see them being used alongside both the strobes and the attuner. The true sights give a straight percentage increase to range damage, to ranged attacks and weapon skills both. The true sights stack with the Magni plugs, so you want to be using both in a sharpshot automaton loadout. But they share the same issue with the Magni plugs, in that they're notable without overdrive, but they get incredibly powerful when it's active. It's really something to see the automaton go to town on something nearly 20 levels higher than itself with no real support to speak of. Granted, it's something only viable, if not entirely possible, when overdrive is active. Both the Valor Edge and the Sharpshot frames will also benefit from the addition of the 5th tier of a Tension Spring attachment for its attack bonus. But this is when we start running into issues with elemental capacity, as well as a cap of 12 attachments total. That's really become an issue post-update with the addition of these new options. Moving on to the Spirit Reaver, we come across the Arcano Clutches. These boost base magic damage, and again, by a lot whenever overdrive is active. There's a bit of a recurring theme here, huh? You'll see the Spirit Reaver doing near cap damage a lot easier with these two attachments, but it's still down to the player to generate skill chains for it to burst off of, and to also switch into a specific gear set to ensure the automaton doesn't run headlong into a resistance check. You should be using a set for automaton magic accuracy, since you're not going to have the elemental capacity, again that's a recurring issue, let alone the attachment slots, hey, again, free to use the Tranquilizer 5. Right, time to address the elephant in the room. This update was a good gesture to Puppetmaster, but it's just not fixed the core issues, some of them huge, which severely hold the job back from being involved in anything other than its role as a very niche tank for a pet job setup. The fact of the matter is, you cannot directly control the automaton and command it to use weapon skills or spells when you want it to. In a game like this, which revolves so heavily around strategy and coordination, having a job's main contributing factor be a law unto itself is just not good enough. Take the Spirit Reaver for example. If you could order it to cast a certain spell when prompted, and to not be at the mercy of a universal cooldown window between casts, then its viability and content would improve greatly. Likewise, if you could force the Sharpshot or Valor Edge to not weapon skill until prompted, and to use the exact weapon skill you need when you need it, it could serve as a great tool for building skill chain damage. The tools are there, the application just doesn't work as it is. This update for Puppetmaster has pretty much been the equivalent of treating a psychiatric patient with a band-aid. Apart from adjusting the AI, what else will I do to make the job truly viable for more content? Puppetmaster needs a job ability like a Dragoon's Empathy, an ability that copies the buffs it has to its automaton and maintains the effect while the ability is active. It could also use an ability which gives the effects the automaton is getting from its attachments and transfer them to the Puppetmaster at the cost of weakening the automaton. So, all in all, and it pains me to say this because I still do like the job, this update has only served to make Puppetmaster even more embedded in its niche and has only given it a slight increase to its damage output. It's simply too reliant on overdrive to reach levels comparable to a fully buffed melee job. Anyway, it had to be said. I'll see you guys next time.